may recognise my name. My name is Paul Polane. I have been writing to you for over 2 years regarding the Meadows policy and the problems it has caused us, which you've largely ignored and definitely denied. But that's not why I'm here to ask the question on tonight. It's the whole of Harrow Lodge Park. I hosted a meeting in Harrow Lodge Park on Friday, which was attended by Andrew Rosendale MP, councillors Roger Evans, Damon White, Ray Morgan, John Mylord, and 50 plus members of the public. MP Andrew Rosendale agreed that the park was in an awful state and said he was frankly baffled, his words, why this council had failed to address the numerous complaints that had been raised with you time and time again over the past few years. This is a sentiment that is also shared by a number of local councillors. I think we all know that one reason for this is that whilst other parks in the borough have had serious investment to turn them into green flag parks, this park has suffered from underinvestment and been neglected. But it is also pretty obvious that your Parks Department is not fit for purpose and that at the head of the council you are just as responsible for their failures. These failures include a failure to supervise the work of contractors, which is leading to vital work simply not being done and wasting taxpayers' money. The policy of denying problems exist and using funding as an excuse to do nothing, when in most cases a lot could be achieved with very little investment. The refusal to get involved in any meaningful dialogue about the issues and visit the park to see the problems firsthand. Interestingly, I understand Councillor Andrew Curtin visited the park last week following a spate of bad press, and despite being fond of telling us, oh, what a great job he has done with Havering's parks, he made a comment saying that when he drove into the car park, if he didn't know the park, he would have turned his car around and driven straight out, and that is a quote. This may be due to the 3 waist-high piles of rubbish that have been sitting around the Silt Lagoon for a week, or perhaps a thick layer of oil, scum and rubbish that lay all over the surface of the lagoon. Worryingly, this council has even taken to lying to the local press about the issues with the sewers being reported to cover up their total inaction in dealing with this problem, and you have played a major part in this deception by allowing it to happen and by not taking any action to expose the guilty parties. As you have been copied into all my emails relating to sewage issues, fountain and Silt Lagoon problems and general late maintenance, and failed to take any action over the past 2 years, you are responsible for the death of over 200 birds and the forced removal of the remaining birds from our lake. We are all aware of the council's plans to regenerate the lake and finally deal with the sewage problem, but I'm afraid it's too little, too late. We continue to suffer from numerous problems, including rats and mice invading our properties, caused by the council's failure to manage the Meadows policy on the north side of the park, which has left in a complete mess. The weeds are out of control and the whole area is completely overgrown and it's made it completely unusable. The improvements the council made to the Silt Lagoon continue to cause increasing flooding problems. And my question to you is, when are you and your park staff actually going to accept my invitation to look at these problems firsthand so you can stop denying they exist and start dealing with the issues that are seriously affecting our lives?
Thank you. Yes, there have been a number of issues and challenges for us with Harrow Lodge Park, and you're absolutely right. There were a number of birds and fish that died recently, which was really sad. But like most other councils in the country who had exactly the same issue that we had in relation to the hot water and the hot summer that we had and the effect that had, in relation to the biodiversity of the lakes. It is sad that should happen. I am aware of your complaints, and you will be aware that we're in a stage 3 complaint situation now, and therefore I cannot go into any detail without prejudicing the council's the way in which the council will deal with your stage 3 complaint, which you are well aware of. I am concerned that...
Can I just stop you there? You can, because I haven't actually registered my stage 3 complaint.
I understand that you've got a stage 3...
I have sent paperwork, but I haven't been actually registered yet. So feel free to indict me.
Okay, well, I am baffled by Mr. Rosendale's statement, and I would have hoped that he would have understand the council's situation in relation to the way in which it's managing its parks, and in particular Harrow Lodge Park. I think that it was interesting that other councillors were there, and I look forward to hearing what they have to say to me when they come back in relation to any questions or motions they might put down. I certainly think that from a council point of view, I have every confidence in my staff. They do a fantastic job. Our Parks Department, there's very few of them, but the work they do, and I already mentioned the 8 green flags that we have, is superb, and I have every confidence in them. Yes, you have been writing for me for about 1.5 years to 2 years. I have all your letters. It is true that, I allow my officers to respond for me, and they, in particular, the 2 lead officers there, I believe, do an excellent job. If there are, as I said, if there are issues with the wild meadows and these types of things, I'm always happy to relook at that policy to see whether it needs reviewing, and I'm quite happy to undertake doing that. The issues you raised about vermin, in particular rats, I think it is a particular problem, and I get lots of emails, not only from Harrow Lodge Park, but if you're in Romford, as I live in Romford myself, and anywhere around the churchyard, and that seems to be a problem area at the moment for us as well. And we're not the only council that has issues with vermin at the moment.
Continue. You may not be the only council that has problems with rats. You can actually answer the question though. When are you and your officers actually going to visit this park? Because it is plain to see that everyone who turns up at that park, councillors and MPs, believe that there is a problem, and they are completely baffled why you are refusing to deal with the issues there.
Well, as I said, I will speak. It's news to me what you said about Councillor Curtin. I will speak to him first thing tomorrow morning to find out his view, because if you say to me he turned into a car park and then turned away saying how terrible it was, I'm surprised, since he is the lead member, so I need to have a discussion with him. As for Harrow Lodge Park, I visit Harrow Lodge Park. I visit most of the parks in Havering from one time to another. Indeed, I only just spent 3 days at Harrow Lodge Park at the fantastic Havering show. And so, I get to see these things. I'm always quite happy to walk the parks, to come down and with residents to have a look round. But I will certainly talk to Councillor Curtin tomorrow morning.
Okay, so you are going to visit the park with me then?
I'm quite happy to come and visit the park.
Okay, and are you going to ask your park staff to come along? Because, frankly, all I'm getting is denials that there's any problems. And unless you actually physically come down the park with your staff, you're never going to see the problems, and they're just going to continue.
I'm quite happy to come to Harrow Lodge Park. I'm quite happy to bring my staff with me. Obviously, we'll have to, if you're going to put in a stage 3 complaint, then I have to wait for the end of that complaint process.
I can wait, that's fine. I don't need to come down.
Okay, I'm always happy to come down and have a look around the park.
You'll send me an email tomorrow confirming the time and date that you, Simon Parkinson and Andrew Curtin can all get together to come to this park.
I don't need Andrew Curtin, but I certainly would take my other colleagues with me.
I think Andrew Curtin should turn up again. He can the biodiversity that's...
And I'm sure that my officers are quite happy to do that. Can you take that from me?
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Okay, can we take your question?